Let's look at a few examples of finding domain and range. So here we have y equals x squared minus 2. We want to find the domain and range. And what type of function is it, or what is its parent function? So the parent function is always what the function is before anything has been added, subtracted, multiplied, or divided from it. Okay? So in this case, it'd just be x squared. So the type of function is, well, it's y equals x squared. It is a, we would call it a square function. Or in this case, a quadratic. Okay, what's the domain? Well, the domain of a quadratic is always negative infinity to infinity. We find domain by looking at the x values. And so this thing's going to keep going out to the left forever and out to the right forever. So the domain is negative infinity to infinity. The range, however, depends on the graph. And with range, this is the y values, and we always start from the bottom and go up. With domain, we go left to right. With range, we go from down to up, okay? So moving up, we start at negative 2. And negative 2 is included in the graph, so we have to use a bracket around negative 2. And then from negative 2, it's going to go up forever. So we have included negative 2 to infinity for our range. Our next one here, this type of function, it says y equals 4 to the x minus 1. This is an exponential function because it has the exponent, or it has the variable as an exponent. What is the domain? Well, let's see. Coming from the left, it looks like it's going to the left forever, so negative infinity. And it's actually going to go to the right forever. It very, very slowly is it going to go out to the right, but it will. So an exponential function also has a domain of negative infinity to infinity. This particular one, let's see, the range, so it looks like we're starting at about negative 1 and going up forever. However, with an exponential function, you never hit. So there's actually what we call a horizontal asymptote at negative 1. It's never going to quite hit negative 1 there. So we would not include negative 1. We use a parentheses and it'll go to infinity. So you do have to be careful with these, that you're aware of how to write things correctly for each type of graph. Look back in your notes. Then this one, we've got a rational, because it's a fraction. This is a rational function. 2 over x plus 5. What's the domain? Well, let's see. Coming from the left, it looks like it stops at about negative 5 and picks up and goes on some more to the right. So we are going to the left forever, negative infinity. But we're stopping before we get to negative 5. This is another case where we have an asymptote. In this case, it's a vertical asymptote, and we never quite get to negative 5. So we have to use a parenthesis. And then we're picking back up just to the right of negative 5, so not including, use a parenthesis, and going on to infinity. Then range, we're coming up from down below, and it looks like we stop around 0 and then pick up and keep going from there. So we're starting from negative infinity, and we have a horizontal asymptote at 0, so it's not included, and then picking up from 0, which is not included, to infinity. And let's look at one more. So this is a square root function. The square root of 2x plus 8. The domain, it's starting at negative 4, it looks like. And is negative 4 included? Well, let's think about that. If we plug in negative 4, we get 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 8 is 0. And we can take the square root of 0. It's 0. So negative 4 is included in the domain. And then we're going on to infinity. Then the range starts at 0, and we are including 0 and going up to infinity. There's a few more examples in your notes that you can look at for this and then work a few problems.